Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to day 4 of this little European adventure. And we've had our daily awful breakfast of crisps and dodgy cornflakes and just awfulness. Sparkling water is staying there forever. He's not getting drunk. And I actually haven't had this yet. Maybe tonight's the night. Celebrate the final night. Have some Suave. Classico, whatever. Before we go out though, I just want to quickly show you the itinerary of this trip and kind of explain why we've gone from place to place and kind of necessarily whatever order and things like that. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. I'm going to spin the camera around. So here, as you can see, or at least I hope you can see, it's the list that I had before this trip for the Budapest and Bratislava trip. And you can see obviously where the ticks are the things that we've done, and obviously the things that aren't ticked are the things we haven't done. So obviously it goes all the way down. So Bratislava has been completed apart from the Kamzik TV tower. Now the Budapest one, you can see, is still quite empty. So there's quite a lot of things in this list I actually haven't done yet. As far as I'm aware, I think the Spa Baths, House of Terror and Hero Square are like the main things I haven't really done yet. And they're all actually on my side of the river, so they're all on the Pest side of the river, so we don't need to go over to Buda. Now, I remember saying in the blog previously that in this video we'll be going to the museums, we couldn't go to on Monday. Now, that is very still likely to happen. It just means we're going to be doing it in a reverse order. So I was meant to go in the order of kind of go back across the bridge we went through and then kind of pass up past the big statue and then kind of follow through towards the castle and then go up and then do the museum on the front and then up top towards the history museum. And then obviously we were meant to follow it around and go towards St. Margaret's Island and then obviously come back around ourselves. So basically what we're doing is the complete opposite. We're just doing it around the opposite way. Now the reason being is because I just don't want to miss out on the things I haven't seen for the sake of a museum. Not only that, but there are food places on the Pest side of the river, more so than the ones on the Buda side of the river. So if I do want to get food or a drink, as we found out in that vlog, it's extremely hard if you're on the castle side compared to obviously the main city side. As you can see here, there is a list for Prague also, so you're probably wondering like, why do I do these lists? It's only just because I just want to keep things like as efficient as possible. You know, I don't have a lot of time in these places, and obviously if I write things down and create lists of the kind of the main monuments I want to see and, you know, the main things that people are going to want to see, it just makes it easier for me, especially if I write down the distances between them and obviously where I'm staying. It means I can just coordinate things and do, you know, one set first and the second set and the third set. Hence why on the Prague one, it's got Prague 1, Prague 2, and then it kind of goes out. And here you have districts. However, the districts don't really cover the places we were going to. So it just didn't make sense to do it. So I just did it in minutes to walking. Now then, thank God we've got all that out of the way. It's time to start this day. I'll see you out there. Now then, with all that out of the way, it's time to leave and let's start this final day. So then standing just behind me is the Dahani Street Synagogue. Now, a quick fact about this is that it is actually the largest synagogue in the whole of Europe, funnily enough. Just gonna see if we can get inside. Apparently it seats around 3,500 people. So, more people than have at the Etihad. Now then, I've just been inside the synagogue. As you see, it's absolutely stunning, and then I can give my own little yarmulke. I will be cherishing that for life. That will be coming back home to England with me. So then I don't really like to record in them sort of places just out of respect. But as you can see, Europe's biggest synagogue, and if you don't know what a synagogue is basically a place where Jews kind of come together and either celebrate or pay respects to fallen members, and obviously, like I said, celebrate the liberation, the freedom of the Jewish religion. think sometimes you seem to forget that not only did the Soviets kind of have control of Budapest, Hungary during the Cold War, but also during World War I and World War II, the Nazi Party also led through here as well. And obviously that is, you know, the reason behind obviously the synagogue and it being created, and obviously the mass graves, and that's where all them sort of things come from. Now then, on to the next stop of the day, St. Stephen's Basilica. So, you know, one thing I've actually started to notice about this place, they absolutely love muscle cars, you know. The whole time I've been here, I've seen Dodge Challengers, Mustangs, and now Camaros, and G-Wagons. G-Wagons everywhere. Like, there's no Lambos, no Ferraris, no nothing like that. It's just muscle cars or a G-Wagon. Now, believe it or not, I've actually been to quite a few basilicas in my life, but this is extremely impressive. Just the way it's built, all out of kind of, I'm not sure what material that is, I'm going to go stone. See all the statues on top. It is marvellous. It is definitely marvellous. Now then, you know I love my facts when I come to these sort of places. Now I've got two for you. One is pretty obvious, it's Budapest's largest church. Now that is pretty obvious. The second one is more interesting, the fact that before it was turned into a church, it actually used to be used for animal fighting. I bet you didn't know that. So we've got our ticket to go inside. We've got the all-in-one one, so hopefully we won't get denied any access this time. Now, as you know me, I've obviously tried to get the student one, but if you want to see my card, I don't have a student card, so to give in and pay the amount I should pay. The hack doesn't work anymore, clearly. Now then, I have no idea where I really am now. Kind of just in the mix of it, really. Heading to the top now, I know that, and 145 steps or elevator. All steps, elevator, which one? No chance, steps. Not again. Never again. Now, like I've said before, I've actually been to basilicas before, and one of the ones I went to before was in Rome, in the Vatican City. And yeah, I mean, the Vatican one was unreal, but this is impressive still. As you can see over the far side, or at least over that side, Slavin's memorial where we were at the other day, and then you can see on the other side, you can't really see it actually, but it's the Parliament building. Basically everything from here. There's like some sort of football stadium over there as well. It's like that white thing in the distance, I'm not really too sure, but yeah. I always come to these, they're brilliant because you just get the view of the whole city. It's so worth it. So if you're ever in like a historic town or anything like that, it has a basilica, make sure you go to it, make sure you go to the top. As well as that, it is actually very windy. It's beautiful. Today I've got my AirPods on. It's very scary. My phone and AirPods fly out right now. So then, just got to the top then. It was unbelievable, the view. Obviously, I still put Rome ahead, but still. And yeah, went up there, just met some Americans again and just got chatting to them. Like every time I kind of go somewhere, no matter where it is, I just seem to bump into Americans. I mean, I know they're everywhere anyway, but it's just, yeah, it's like every single time it's just I'm meeting and speaking to Americans. I didn't get quite a chance to finish what I was saying. I didn't quite get a chance to finish what I was saying then, because obviously there's loads of people coming up and down the staircase and I had to move. But yeah, like this American couple from DC, You know, they've come down on a road trip and they've gone through Austria, Vienna, where we were meant to go. They went to Hallstatt, which is one of my dream places. They were showing me pictures saying you should go. Like, they're so friendly, and people are so friendly in general here, but especially like the Americans, because I meet them all the time. The same as when we were on the boat in Czechia, and you know, we met people there who were from, well, they're South American to be fair, but like still, like every time people are just so friendly and welcoming. They were telling me as well how they've been to Prague and it's like the most amazing city, which I agreed with. They said about Bratislava being extremely surprising, considering, you know, how much people kind of laugh at Bratislava and say it's not great and all these sort of things, but it was actually really surprising, which I totally agreed with. And saying that Budapest is maybe a little bit on the disappointing side. It's not, actually not disappointing, I think it's a bit harsh, but it's not close to Prague, definitely. And I'd like to speak again on the point of, you know, the whole Prague, Bratislava, Budapest sort of discussion of what's better and whatnot. Obviously, individually, they're all so different, but I think, you know, it's the reason why maybe I feel the way I do about it is because obviously I've come from Prague. So I've come from Prague down here, and when you go to Prague, it's all spick and span, it's so clean and, you know, everything's so perfect, and you come here, it's a bit more grimy and a bit more destroyed. And maybe you look at that and go, oh, it's not as good because it's not this, but it's still history, you know, it is still history. And I suppose I got kind of a bit messed up views on the place and maybe just a unrealistic outlook on it before I even turned up. But this is more historic. You know, what I'm going to say is I agree with Bored Bankrupt. He said in his video when he was in Budapest that Budapest is the Rome of Eastern Europe, and honestly it's facts. I'm not going to explain it any more than that. If you know, you know. So then, got my camera frappuccino. It is pissing it out. All of a sudden now, I'm starting to feel that karma for robbing the umbrella. Of course it took to the last day to feel the karma and the effects of robbing that old babushka's umbrella. So just pop into LV real quick. I've got like an issue with my wallet, so I don't know if you can really see it, but like, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but basically it's like a stain. Basically he said was like from where if you put on sanitizer and then you touch the wallet, it will like stain it, so it goes like white. And he said it has to go to Paris apparently. It takes 6 to 8 weeks, and like, I was like, oh, whatever. I don't know, I thought they might be able to do something now. I don't know what they'd be able to do, but I thought I'd just give it a look in instead. There's a lot of money in there. Like, every time I go into LV, like, it's a fucking joke, man. Like, this woman here, LV bag jumped out. It was like crazy money, but crazy. So basically the outcome was you've got to go back to London. So I'd have to go back to London, then go LV in London, and apparently they can like service it there or something. I don't live in London or close, so that won't be happening. So I guess we're just gonna have to stay like that for a little while. Anyway, back to the adventure. We're heading now to the House of Terror. Now it's a museum apparently, and I've no idea anything about it. We're just gonna head there now. So House of Terror, and then one more stop, and then back to the museums on the Buddhist side of the river. So we're just in the House of Terror now, and I'm pretty sure I can't film or take photos, so I'll try and capture what I can for you guys, but there's no promises. I don't exactly find, well, I don't exactly want to get kicked out of here within like 2 minutes, so we'll try.
Több mint félmillió ember özönlik a város minden részéből a hősök terére. Felvonulásokkal, harci erejük, a szocializmus megvalósításával hatol a végén.
So here, I suppose, is where the prisoners might have been kept. In this little tiny box, with the door shut. This may be the room of a governor or something. See on this, look. 82. Bloody hell. See the room here, look. This room's a bit nicer. I've nearly been caught for filming so many times, but this is the room of a doctor. Now, I believe this is death row. Like, this whole bottom floor is just death row prisoners. Could be wrong. And then I've come out now, and they were absolutely all over filming in there. I'm pretty sure they kind of had like cameras in each room, and they had security watching them, I assume. And there was a woman running around everywhere with a radio, so I did get caught out in the end. I didn't get kicked out, and she said just no filming. So I think she had her eye on me though, 'cause she kept like walking around trying to like catch me out. She could never do it. It was so funny. So I knew what she was doing, and then eventually I think she just assumed, or someone said to her in her ear or whatever. So I tried to just gower there really and just not get kicked out. So yeah, we're out. It was decent, to be fair. There was a lot of stuff about the Soviet Union. Not so much about the Nazi Party though, which was a bit disappointing, because I did want to know more about that. Our last stop on the list is the thermal baths before we cross over to the other side of the river again to go see some more museums. So like I said, the thermal bath is the last thing on this side of the river that I want to do. So we're just going to catch a bus now, and yeah, head towards it. Alright then, so long story short, I kind of got on the bus and then ended up going backwards, so I got on the wrong one. So I turned around, and weirdly enough, when I got on that bus, I could only go on it through the front door. Now, obviously he wanted a ticket, I just walked on and blagged it, but I'm not going to be able to do that every time. Now, a second bus just arrived to go back in the right direction, and once again, the door's only open at the front. Now, that hasn't happened to me this whole trip, so I'm not too sure what's going on. I'm going to give another few buses a try and see if the back door's open so I can walk on. But if not, I'm going to try this other bus they do, and if that doesn't work, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. It feels like everything's really going wrong today. I mean, thankfully on the last day, but like, first can't get on a bus, next I'm getting the letter fucking kicked out of everywhere from camera recording and stuff, and then the next is raining and I've lost my umbrella, and like, I don't know. This is it's not gone as well as planned, but we will carry on, we'll march on, we'll make the most of it. Let's try this next bus. This is really depressing. It looks like my luck on this trip has come to an abrupt ending. I may have not been kicked off the bus for not having a ticket. So like, I just snuck off, like, I just snuck on the back. So like, I waited for the back doors to open, so there's someone getting off. And I got on, and then like, there was a full bus, and me boys like waved me down. I was like, oh, brilliant. So I'm just thinking, oh, it's sound, because I can just kind of like pay for a ticket, I imagine, on the bus like you do in England. And it turns out you can only do it with cash. I didn't have any cash, so he basically just kicked me off. So I'm still like 50 minutes walk away from the bath spa thing, and time's moving. It's like 5:30. All the museums are probably shutting around now as well. This day has just fell apart. So in order to cheer myself up, I've brought myself Starkman, the best beer you can probably buy on the market. So pretty sure drinking in the street is also illegal here, so I'm running the risk once again of getting stopped, arrested, thrown in a Hungarian prison. This is probably the last chance I'm going to get to go in one before I go home, so I might as well try my best, you know. Or would you ever thought you'd see the day when there was a Bolt Tesla taxi? What the fuck? That's just mental to me. Like, why would you have a yellow Bolt taxi engraved Tesla Model 3? Like, what the fuck? It's like a 30-odd grand car, mate. He just whacked fucking Bolt taxi decal all over it. Like, that's actually mental. Now then, I've just logged in and got one of these things. If I can't have a bus, mate, I'm having a scooter. We'll see how well this goes. Probably gonna crash now. So then, one place that I forgot that I needed to go to, which is on the list, that clearly it was on the way, so therefore I didn't mention it, so I completely forgot, is Hero Square, and here we are. What a beautiful place. Now, I haven't actually been like up this way. Like, obviously I've been round past the river on my side, and then obviously the other side, but I haven't really like, you know, delved in to the, you know, my side of the river and got a bit further in. I did today and I've been pleasantly surprised. No, I don't really have too many facts to say about this place. However, I do have two, so you're welcome. Number one is that this place, aka Hero Square, was built for the 1000th anniversary of the founding of Hungary. Now, as you'll see over there, there's loads of statues, and it basically is just a war memorial for all the people that died here, obviously for, you know, fighting for independence in Hungary. Now, what on earth is that woman over there doing? Oh, thank you, bus. Didn't want to see anyway. That woman there, what on earth is she doing? It's like in America, you know, when they come up to you and like try clean your cars and then try charging you after. Like the exact same. What on earth? Just go, them cars there, they're gonna get charged. Watch, I'll update you. Oh look, no, I don't have to update you. It's happening now. Look, here she goes. She's walking down. Cash. Anyone's got cash? Look, anyone? Cash. Down this aisle. Look, cash. There you go. Knew it. Prediction. Look, she got her out. Wow, what an interesting way to make a living. Now then, anyone that's been to Vatican City who's watching this video, does this not remind you of like, well, it kind of looks like 1/10 of the, you know, surrounding bit of Vatican City. Does it or does it not? You tell me. I can't actually remember. It's vivid in my head. It is vivid in my brain, but to me, you know, all the statues and the columns just reminds me of Vatican City. Now then, it looks like I've heavily missed out not coming here. Because look, I don't know what that is, but that looks like something out of Disney. And they've got bloody boats. I could have hired a boat. Oh, that has upset me. This day is getting worse. So, next plan of action is just to see these thermal baths. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to get in. It might just be like a big building that you've got to pay to go in and then you go for your little swim or whatever. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping I can just see it from the outside, go, tick, I've done it, I've looked, and then, you know, head back. But with the way this day is going, like I've been saying the whole time, I've just got a weird feeling this might not work out. So I mean, as expected, I suppose, bloody hell, I'm sweating. As expected, you can't get in without a ticket, so we're gonna have to give it a miss. You know, that whole time, all the bus drama and all that sort of stuff that we missed just to come here. We could have gone to the museum that we wanted to go to. Well, I wanted to go to. I don't know about you. And instead, we come here. We risked it all. And yeah, we're not even allowed in. So that is peak. You know, to turn a negative into a positive. At least, if I ever come back here, which I'm sure I will, I'll at least have one thing that I haven't done. So if I ever come back to Budapest, I know that that's number one on the list to do. And this time, I'll actually do it as well. I'll actually go in. I wasn't actually going to plan on going in, just due to the fact that, you know, also I wouldn't be able to record, I'm on my own, it just looked a bit weird. So I decided against it. But if I come back with mates, which I'm sure I will at some point, that's on the list to do, first thing. But I don't really fancy going straight back either, so I'm just going to give it a walk around and just see what I can find. It's quite a big place, so I'm sure I'll find something to do. Now then, as I said, I'll find something to do here, and it seems we have found something to do. I mean, well, you know, we've seen this on the other side of the bridge, remember, and I looked across and I thought, well, what the hell is this place? And I remembered, so I came here to have a look, and you can just see how amazing it is. Like, Jesus Christ, this is definitely a good place to end it. Now, standing behind me is just an example of what it's like here in Budapest. Now, I suppose this just highlights the difference between Budapest and Prague, you know, in terms of how the buildings look and how, you know, what I was mentioning earlier about how in Prague things get restored and looked after a lot better. But I suppose here, if it was restored, I suppose the history would be taken away, you know, because it not being restored and looked after. I mean, not gonna lie, they could do with trimming the bushes at least, but, you know, with it not being painted and restored, it's not necessarily the worst thing, because it just keeps the history, it keeps everything unique and authentic. I suppose that's what this city's about, just authenticity. So just gonna walk about this place. It's not really a lot here, to be fair. It's got nothing on Margaret Island. But yeah, pretty much done now, to be fair. I'm gonna head back now though and try get on that electric scooter. Because I was gonna say the day, I'm literally like an hour away as well. And I'm definitely like one more blagging bus trip away from an actual trip, but to the police station. Right guys, just got off the electric scooter. It was really efficient, to be fair. We'll be doing that again. And yeah, I'm now back. It's coming up to in the evening now. And I think I'm gonna call it on the vlog now. You know, there's not anything else I can do really. I've completed everything I wanted to come here and do. And yeah, I'd say mission successful. Well then guys, I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Hope you've enjoyed this little series we've done in Eastern Europe. It's not yet done. There will be a follow-up adventure soon. Now, I'm not actually too sure when that will be, so don't quote me on a date, but there will be a follow-up adventure very soon coming your way, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The way you can stay tuned for it is subscribing, turning the notifications on. That's the most important thing if you want to keep up to date with all the videos that are going to come out in the near future. And with all that being said, Viszlát from Budapest, Hungary. I'll catch you in the next one.